Welcome to Co-op Mode, round 137. This is the official video game podcast of Secret Friends Unite. I'm one of your hosts, Todd Oxtra, joined by a man that they say comes from a land that doesn't exist, Mark the Canadian Carabin. How you doing, bud?
I'm not even sure if I exist sometimes, so if I'm from a land that doesn't exist, that makes sense.
Like Land of the Lost with the Skeksis and the people and...
Yeah. I ride a dinosaur to work every single day, unless the dinosaur's tired or cranky, in which case I just find another alternate route.
You retired the sea serpent?
No, I mean, that's for summer travel, obviously. It's only springtime. Like, you don't want to get on a sea serpent in the springtime. That's just maybe unseasonably warm days, maybe once or twice, just to kind of break it out and say that you did it. But no, that's a summer mode of transportation.
Is that where Aquaman? Is that where Aquaman's from?
That is actually absolutely
where
that Aquaman's from. Yeah,
makes so much more sense now.
And that voice you heard from behind the ether, and if you're watching on YouTube, you're seeing him now, and that is Mr. Daniel Walendzik, and he's probably killing me because he gave me the phonetic spelling and way to say his name, and I probably screwed it up. So thank you for that. Yes.
Oh, hello, Daddy D. Wally here, aka Daniel Walendzik is how you pronounce the last name. Yes, I am Polish, a Mexican breed, and I'm just happy to be here. Thank you so much, guys, for inviting me. And I'm just excited to talk about video games with you guys. And I've got so many questions about Nova Scotia now. I really didn't know that about Aquaman. I just took a guess. I remember that scene in what was that? Was that was that Justice League where he was that?
Oh, Justice League was him. That was filmed in Newfoundland, which is the next island over.
Okay.
So the ferry to Newfoundland leaves from here. That's pretty much the only way, aside from flying, that you can get there. That was actually filmed there. What was that?
I don't know. What's the weather like out there? Is it always cold?
Newfoundland gets pretty cold. Here, it's not too bad, really.
Okay.
You know, like it's. I'm trying to think of what to compare it to. Like similar to like Maine.
Okay.
Yeah. Maine's pretty close. Yeah.
So nice summers, but kind of heavy snow winters, brutal. Are you by the coast?
We are. Oh yeah.
Like the UK, isn't it?
Coast,
it's more like the UK because you're pretty much surrounded by water. And
yeah. So the winters can get cold. Not like snowy. I mean,
but not like overwhelming.
No, not usually. We had one snowfall this year, but it just happened to be like 5 feet of snow at once. It was just ridiculous.
So Todd and I have it much worse in the winter.
Yeah.
Yes. The Rocky Mountain High and the southern Canada state of Minnesota. We can get it pretty badly. But, I feel bad since I killed Dan's name. I didn't give him a proper introduction. Dan is host and founder of the Nerd Chat. Awesome dude. We had Jose, who is his partner in crime, apparently knew each other since middle school. They had me on their show with their co-host Bacon. Great guys. They live stream. That's kind of how I discovered them. Plus also in the XCP group, just a lot of fun talking primarily Xbox, but other things as well. And an unhealthy addiction to fast food as well.
Talk about that later.
Yes, we will talk about that as well. But a nice group of folks. They embrace Xbox, PC, and everything gaming. So check them out. Dan will give more of his credentials later at the end of the show. But Dan, before we get into the meat of the show, I'm going to ask you 3 questions for everyone to get to know you a little bit better. What was your first console you owned?
Never forget. The first one I owned was my favorite of all the Nintendo systems, aka the SNES, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
The SNES.
That is incorrect. Don't ever say that again. And my tia Lupi, she bought me that for one of my birthdays. I can't remember the exact age, but I was pretty young, and I was probably, I want to say, between first and third grade, somewhere in there. And she got it with the Link to the Past. I think it was like a bundle or something.
Wow.
And at first I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, I don't know what this game is. I grew up playing, NES, Super Mario, the Turtles games. Those were kind of my introduction to video games. Duck Hunt, where I'm up against the screen. And then Zelda, I was like, I don't know if I feel this. And then I dedicated to it. And to this day, Link to the Past is still my favorite Zelda. And I love everything about that game. And even to this day, I played it just recently on the Switch. And I'm like, this game is just incredible. And so that was the first console that I officially owned, was the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Awesome.
Follow-up question.
Yes.
What was the first game you bought with your own hard-earned money?
Oh, I don't know if I can answer that. I'm so old.
Okay.
I'll skip the PlayStation 1 generation because I feel like a lot of the Super Nintendo stuff I got was from gifts from family and stuff like that as a kid. I'm going to guess it was, I'll tell you a funny story. So there was this random, we called it the Nerd Shop. It was the first used video game store we ever had nearby. And it was like a walkable distance and we could ride our bikes there. Sure enough, went out of business because they were always buying stuff from us at ridiculous prices. And we were just trading and stuff all the time. But I do remember going there all the time and thinking it was so cool to have a video game store just right up the road and buying and trading games. And one of the first ones we probably bought or rent, or I think we bought this, or we probably rented it, but then I eventually bought it, was Resident Evil 2 on the PlayStation 1. Terrifying. To this day, I will never forget. You're walking down as Leon in the police station right after you run into the liquor, and I'm like, oh, okay, we got through that. Everything's good. We're fine. We can breathe a little bit. We're walking by the window. Arms bust out from the window through the little barricades there and grab you. And my friend Askins, I'll never forget, he had the controller in his hand as it happened because we were playing together, because we were sissies. And he just paused the game. He's like, I can't do this anymore. And he just put the controller next to me.
I didn't
walked out. And we were in 7th grade and we just had it paused there for like 30 minutes before we could ever play again. So Resident Evil 2, definitely one of the ones I remember buying on our own. Probably along with like Gran Turismo and Metal Gear Solid.
Nice. They're going to say you never saw him again.
It was. I'll never. We still talk about this day.
Unfriended.
To this day,
nobody ever saw him again. What happened to him?
Yeah.
Wow.
All
That's
right.
Awesome.
Okay. Last question. What is your favorite guilty pleasure game?
Guilty pleasure game. I can't say Mass Effect, right? Because I don't feel like that's a guilty pleasure.
One of your favorite games, the man wearing an N7
with the N7
banner and his helmet is in the background.
Everywhere.
So that's not guilty. That's more like obsession. Yeah.
I have a picture of Tally up there, even though I never seduced Tally as my love interest, but whatever. Guilty pleasure game. I guess it would be Call of Duty. And I don't think
that's a good one.
I don't think that's that bad, though.
It's the game you're almost embarrassed to tell people you like.
I don't, but right? You know what? Maybe you're right to an extent. But the more I play it, man, there's a reason it's so successful, and there's a reason Microsoft paid $69 billion basically to get Call of Duty, and it comes out every year. It always hits. It's always satisfying. They know how to get you. So yeah, I'll go with Call of Duty. There was a time where I skipped Call of Duties. Actually, I don't think I've completed every single campaigns like some of the Black Ops one I skipped. But when it came back in 2019 with Modern Warfare, I was like, you got me. Because when that came out in 2007, I was in college then. That took me away from Halo, was Modern Warfare, Call of Duty 4. And yeah. So Call of Duty is probably my guilty pleasure game for sure.
You told me
back then. Oh, I was gonna say back then for a game to take, because it was the same thing with me. Like for a game to take me away from not only Halo but Gears of War too.
Yeah,
like
it was crazy.
It was real.
Because the one before was Call of Duty 3, which was a good game, right? But it wasn't. It was not Modern Warfare and all of it. Oh man, it's the perks and the leveling. I feel so bad. Another funny story. One of my friends in college, I'm like, you should get a 360 and jump on with us. I don't think he went to class again. He was like top 50 in the world. And so I feel so bad. I'm like, oh my God, is he still going to graduate? Shout out to Miggy Zapatista Miggy. He did graduate and he's doing great now, but like everyone's like, remember when you got Miggy into Modern Warfare, Dan? That was all your fault. I was like, no. So shout out to one of the best Call of Duties.
I like that they talk about that like you're like some sort of devious drug dealer. Like, hey man, remember when you got him hooked? Completely hooked.
Ask Jose about it next time, guys, and they'll still bring it up. So, but yeah, I'm very lucky. I'll say it with like gaming, and I've grown up. We grew up in Denver, Colorado. Went to CU Boulder, and we've basically all like my friends that were in elementary, middle, high school are still my friends today. Like very, very blessed with like our friends and how we've stuck together and just had a good group of friends. Like I know it's crazy. Like I was telling you, I've known Jose since what did I say, middle school. I've known some of my other friends I still game with on Halo since like 4th grade. Like it's
holy
gosh, I'm going to be 40 this year. So yeah, it's pretty
crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thanks.
Well, I think we've all contributed to the delinquency of our friends. I remember my friend got caught with the NWA Straight Outta Compton tape that I loaned him. Then my parents got a call, and
See, if yours is like music, girls. Mine is like, hey, come play some Call of Duty.
Got this game. Don't show anybody.
My cousin growing up like was never like they never had a console, so like. We were basically like those drug dealers. Like he'd come over for his fix.
Yeah.
And be like, hey, do you want to go outside? Do you want to do something? Do you want to watch? Do you want to whatever? Like, no, I need to get any of that sweet Mario. Come on.
Yeah.
What's this? Pokemon. Yeah, definitely gotta catch them all. Let's go.
Like everything in moderation, right? That's why as parents now, I'm sure Todd, you've done that with your son, and Mark, same with you.
Oh,
so.
yeah. We had to hide some gaming from his mother because she was at a staunch point of can't play this, can't play that, and Halo was the breaking point. I think that's when I finally said, "Yeah, you can play Halo. It's aliens. You're just killing aliens."
That's not bad.
Yeah, exactly. Well, very good, Dan. Well, welcome to Madness. We'll see how this goes. But before we get deeper in, Mark, could you thank our Patreon friends?
Of course. Yes. I want to thank everyone over at patreon.com/secretfriendsunite, including the Friends with Benefits tier, John Sadorf, the Phoenix Sisters Cosplay, Brenda Myers, Matthew Keel, and Corey in HD, as well as our BFF tier, Sean, Stella, and Henry Nias, and Missy Merchant. You can head over to patreon.com/secretfriendsunite for a 7-day free trial where you can get 1, no ads on any of the podcasts, 2, a bunch of exclusive content, and 3, a Patreon exclusive place in our Discord channel. So for all of those things, you can go over again to patreon.com/secretfriendsunite and get a 7-day free trial. Sign up. There's different tiers. You can pick which one suits you the best and what you want, but everyone gets ad-free at the very minimum for the all of the podcasts on the channel and some great exclusive content. So go over there and check it out.
Excellent. Well, with that, we go to our favorite segment, or at least mine, and that is buy, rent, return. Like I said, Dan, having a video game store near you could rent stuff. Felt good as a kid, but you always have those hard decisions. What am I going to buy after I've rented a few times? What am I just going to rent, enjoy once or twice? What am I going to return saying this was trash? How did I get, that horrible game, Ghostbusters 2 or whatever on the Sega Master System? What a pile of trash. You know what? But we're talking about a good category this week. We're doing remakes, folks, because we have been in a renaissance of remakes. We just heard about the Dead Space remake that apparently did not do very well financially, but still critically acclaimed. So I picked 3 remakes that all 3 of us must buy, rent, and return. So we turn to our guests this week. You have to choose between The Legend of Zelda: Link's Awakening, Ratchet and Clank 2016, and Resident Evil 2. So with that, Dan, it's Sophie's choice.
Okay. So this one's pretty easy for me. I own one of these, and I have to admit I haven't played it yet, but I'm very excited. I'm holding up Link's Awakening. Okay. So that's one of my. Did you guys play this original on Game Boy by any chance?
I did.
Okay.
I just a little bit. I didn't get very.
You didn't beat it?
No.
Poser. Okay, so I did. And
I played on the GBA, and I'm like, but I could be playing these other cool games.
it wasn't even. I'm talking about this. This is like an original.
I know.
Game Boy game.
I played the DX version for Game Boy Color, which had a few benefits that the original version didn't. But I did play Link's Awakening DX. Have
any of you beaten this?
Yes.
Okay, so you got me there.
Poser.
Exactly. Funny story.
He's still too busy playing on Game Boy, the original Game Boy.
No, I'm still busy playing Skyward Sword for some reason on my Switch. And my gosh, I can't. I'm at the pirate ship or whatever it is, and I'm like, oh God, can this game just end? Anyway, so what would this is tough because for me. No, it's not tough. Resident Evil 2 would easily be the one that I would buy and keep forever. Resident Evil 2 is probably on my top 10 games of all time. And I think that I would even say that the remake is better than the original, even though the original holds a special place in my heart because of the nostalgia. And I shared that memory. Like on PS1, like that was one of my favorite games of all time. I would rent Link's Awakening because you know what? The more I think about it, this is like you play it once and I'm probably going to be done with it. And then Return. Sorry, Ratchet and Clank, you're out of here. To be fair, I haven't played it. So,
okay.
But I do have it on my digital library on my PS5. But I sold my PS5 recently, so I have no way of playing it right now. But eventually I'll get to it. So those are that would be
you're waiting for the PS5 Pro. That's why. I go with it. Go with me here. So yes, that's my strategy.
Yes, that is my strategy to play Ratchet and Clank only on PS5 Pro with its updated CPU and GPU. Correct.
And ray tracing. And
so yeah.
10%
what about you guys?
Okay, Mark.
I mean, you're asking the guy with the Link tattoo to narrow down a Zelda game, and then some others, I guess, whatever. So that's going to be my buy. That's the Link's Awakening. I love Link's Awakening. I love the original. I've played the original a couple of times. I play it on my RG35 XX, and I'll show you later. It's a little Game Boy thing. I have it somewhere close. It's right here. Hold on. I don't go anywhere without this thing.
Well, while you're pulling that out, while you're getting that, what's your favorite Zelda? If you say Breath of the Wild, I'm going to disconnect you right now.
No, Wind Waker. That's the
great. Okay, this guy's good. That's my second favorite. Oh my God. Yeah. When are we going to get the Wind Waker remake, you guys, or remaster? Come on.
Yeah.
What is going on?
It's got to be this year because nothing else.
What is going on?
The year of the remaster and remake on Switch.
And then everyone's going to reverse how they hated it before and be like, I love this game. This is one of the greatest Zeldas ever.
How does anybody hate that?
God, it's so good. Yeah. I didn't, to be fair, I didn't play or beat that until on Wii U. Shockingly enough, I beat
Wii U version was better.
It's great.
The fast sale. It was really good. This is the RG35XX. It's an emulator machine, and it's fantastic. I love it.
Okay,
I don't go anywhere without it, which is why it's very close to me.
I have one too, but it's been stolen by goblins.
So that's not.
Is it still in Germany? Is it
probably still in Germany?
Probably, yeah. Okay.
So that's not like. Is that like the Analog Pocket? Is that the one that? Isn't that the one that just came out?
No, the Analog Pocket can actually play. Can play real games plus emulators. This one is just everything's just like super illegal and on an SD card.
Oh, I thought that was like a cartridge slot in the back there. Oh
no, yeah, just
pretend it is.
Oh, you got back paddles. I mean, that's pretty good too.
Yeah, it can play up to PS1 games. So you need those the little things. It's great. It's really good.
Yeah, cool.
It is good. So I'm gonna buy the Link's Awakening because I loved that remake. It was such a they went so hard with the art style. They didn't have to. They could have just done a remake. They could have done like a little prettier kind of thing, but like they did this whole like just just fantastic little toy art style that it had so much personality. I love the amiibo. It's that the amiibo is currently up in my son's bedroom. It's so good. And that I got that after I stopped collecting amiibo. It's way up on a shelf. Yeah. After he snapped Meta Knight's sword out, I was like, hey, maybe let's hide these. So that's that one. Resident Evil 2, I'm going to rent because Resident Evil is amazing and 2 is so good. I'm still like partial to Resident Evil 1.
I was
just because that was like the first. Resident Evil 1's just so good, and the remake for GameCube. It was
good. They need.
It's just.
We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, just like you were saying, like that first like kind of jump scare where you're just like the first time I ever played the Resident Evil remake for the GameCube, I was by myself, probably like 13, 14 years old.
Scary.
Yeah, by myself in a thunderstorm in the basement with the lights off. And like the dogs jump through the windows and shit, and it's just like, it was one of those like I either gotta shut this off or just the crows. Just the whole thing's so creepy and great. But like Resident Evil 2 is just also incredible. So I'm gonna rent that one. Sadly, return Ratchet and Clank, even though I did play this and absolutely loved it.
I hear it's great.
It is a really good game, but.
You got a really good movie adaptation. Just kidding.
Go on.
It's just cutscenes from the video game, essentially.
Yeah. So sadly on the chopping block, but a really, really good game and a really good remake.
Yeah.
Remake. And I did play the original, although I didn't put as much time as my brother did into the original, but watched him play that a lot, and then checked out the remake. So
can I ask
good choices
about Ratchet? Was Ratchet big in like PS2 era?
PS2.
Is that when it started?
Yeah,
See,
there were like 3 to 4 games. Yeah,
that's when I went from being a huge PS2 fanboy, specifically just because of like I played Grand Theft Auto and Metal Gear Solid 2 and Madden. Like that was my obsession. And then I noticed Xbox had Ghost Recon over here and the online. And I was like, what is going on over here? And then Halo 2. And I was like, sorry, see you along. I know PlayStation 2 is the number one selling console and some people really love it, but I never really had a connection to the PS2 and specifically their first party games. Like I just never, when I think of PS2, I don't think of their exclusive. Same with even PS1. A lot of my favorite games on PS1s were third party, but it was only available on PlayStation 1. So I have a very weird relationship with PlayStation, I've realized throughout the years. So that's probably why I never got to Ratchet. I know I need to play it. I hear the last one's fantastic. Maybe I'll play it on PC someday. So
yeah, PlayStation
sounds very similar.
I was going to say PlayStation didn't get really known for its exclusives and their first party titles until the 3. Yeah. First 2 years, it was like they wanted all of the third parties on their systems. So you went there to play Madden, all those things like that's what's killed the Dreamcast. And so
and they didn't have to because everyone was just like, "Wait, you guys are on CDs and we can load faster and do this kind of this, whatever." Like, cool. We don't have to pay crazy fees for a Nintendo cartridge.
You've got you're getting our deal. Controller that looks good and it works properly.
You don't need 3 arms to play this controller. Awesome, we're in. Let's go.
No $80 copy they kind of had to step it up
when everyone else did. Yeah. That was a great game. Shut up, Todd.
That's funny. Where is that? We need a great remake of that, Mark. Come on, let's go.
We do. I would play the hell out of a Clay Fighter game. Are you kidding me?
Just an HD.
Save those ideas up. Yeah. Save those ideas up, gentlemen. We'll be getting into that. So I respect all your opinions, but I disagree.
Oh, God, here we go. Yes, fanboy.
Yes. So, I will agree. Resident Evil 2 is my buy. Resident Evil has become my favorite franchise because of what they've done. And the Resident Evil remakes, and then also doing the first person version.
The first person stuff. Oh my gosh.
I love it. It's just so amazing. So they've had a couple stumbles, but I love Resident Evil 2 so much. And I do want a Resident Evil 1 remake like these.
Let's say that
I want the modern controls. Yes. Yeah. That's what I do want. But I love it so much. So amazing. I love what Capcom's doing. Then I'm renting Ratchet and Clank 2016. Ratchet and Clank was a series I didn't even love on PS2, and then I rediscovered them later on. and I've loved the franchise. It's Insomniac. What they did with their arsenal and like all of the different variations, all the different guns, and then you were RPGing your guns. Every gun you would want to power up. That was so awesome to see what you could do. So much fun, so much coming at you, and they're a visual masterpiece. So I love the fact that this, the Ratchet and Clank game, they added so much to it. They reinvented it. So that's what I love about a remake. I love that they can do amazing things to it, bring it to life. And they basically took the first game and they said, we're going to make it up to today's standards. And they did everything over. A lot of quality of life movements, plus also a lot of new innovations in the guns and variety and things like that. So that's my rent. My return is The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. I do not have the nostalgia for that game. I loved what they did with it, though. I loved, like Mark said, everything they did to really bring it up to today's standards. They went all in on the visuals, and it's really amazing. Plus, they added like a dungeon maker mode.
How's the combat, guys? Is it better than it was, or is it like very similar?
I mean, it's improved. I would say it's improved.
Which is better, Tunic or this?
Oh, this.
You played Tunic. Really? I really like Tunic.
I thought Tunic had some frustration in some of the combat.
That's why I liked it. It's more difficult.
Yeah, don't look for this one for that kind of like timing level, like Dark Souls, Zelda timing kind of stuff. Tunic was a much more mature and challenging kind of game.
I love Tunic.
This isn't that. Like this is still a
so my 2D son could probably
isometric top down.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah,
it's perfect for Zelda for anybody, I would say.
Yeah. It's definitely got that feel.
Yeah, what I didn't love about this game, it's probably more about the Switch. The performance wasn't great. Like it struggled at times.
Really?
Which is like, how is that even possible? Like you'd see it would go to like the next screen, you're like, is it dragging the screen? So that was my only like issue. I'm like, so I wish they would have done more with it because it's a great game outside of that. So once again, none of these are bad games. It's just that's my preference, and depending where you live, that's where you're gonna play. So
a quick question about
part of my heart in this game.
Performance. I'm assuming both of you have played. What is that? Tears of the Kingdom.
Yes.
Did you notice any performance issues on that, or was it worse on
some?
Link's Awakening, which is surprising because I feel like
you would see dips in like depending on where he was at, how busy it was. You would see dips in frame rates, but overall it's a solid game considering what it was doing with the Switch versus like you said,
I think it was a little more noticeable or a little more
dramatic on the
for less of a better word. I think insulting is maybe a good word to use for this. because hear me out. Cause like, okay, this game ran on a Game Boy and then they decided to remake it. So why add so much stuff that it bogs it down? Again, they didn't have to go that hard on the art style. They didn't have to animate every single blade of grass and whatever. Like there are things that when you're playing this, you're like, this is so beautiful. And then it slows down. And you're like, why is it so beautiful? Like, calm down, Nintendo. You're making it for the one system that you make. You know how to optimize shit. Like, just do that. Because everything else on the system, like, Luigi's Mansion and stuff, like, fairly simple and looks pretty and animated greatly, and it just kind of works.
Metroid Dread plays fantastic.
Right? Yeah, like those. There's so many examples of like Nintendo games pushing Nintendo hardware but not slowing down. That when this one does, you're like, this isn't a massive open world. This isn't Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom.
One screen at a time.
What the hell? Yeah. So when it slows down, when Tears of the Kingdom slows down, you're like, I get it.
Yeah.
This game's massive. You can break everything. Gravity doesn't make sense. Like stuff, you can build giant mech robots with anatomy. Like none of it makes sense. Everything's crazy. And when that game slows down, you're like, I forgive this, but when this game slows down, you're like, it's one screen, Nintendo, just figure it out. Come on. Yeah. So that's what I mean when it's like insulting or like glaring or something. It's just like,
Todd, can I ask you a quick question about Resident Evil? Why'd they do Ethan Winters so dirty and never show his face?
That's such a weird story too. It's very odd. I still need to play the DLC from 7. I never played the DLC from 7. I really need to.
I played all of them. Love Biohazard. I love what was it? What was it? What was 7? Or no, what was that? What was 7? Was it Village?
7 was Village.
So 8 was Village. 8 was Village.
8 was Village?
What was 7?
8 was Village. Because remember Village?
Yeah, you're right. But what was?
Yeah, because
the heck was 7?
6 was the last regular one. 7 was the creepy southern town with the weird family.
Yeah, it was awesome. That was awesome.
Yeah. Biohazard was 7.
Biohazard. Resident Evil 7
Biohazard?
Okay. Yeah. So that, like you said, they've had a few misses. I think they've only had 2 misses, and that was 5, which just was the beginning of the action phase and went too far after Resident Evil 4, and then 6, just plain terrible. Just absolutely.
I actually liked 5 because I liked the co-op. I thought the co-op was awesome.
Yeah, I did think the co-op was cool, but when I actually just played that within the past couple of years because I wanted to replay all of them recently, I'm like, man, this is way more action oriented than I remember. Sorry about that. My son's crazy here. Sorry.
That is okay.
Yes. So that is our picks. Mark, do we have any comments from the community?
We did. We had the Winter Gamer Brennan Myers write in with my boy. Brennan, this is why we get along. He's buying Link's Awakening, going from a Game Boy game to Switch with the years of improvement, but still keep the same gameplay and controls. Could make the game just that much more enjoyable for some people. Definitely. Absolutely. Rent, Resident Evil 2, haven't played it, but not going back to those tank controls is a major plus. Yep. And then Return, Ratchet and Clank. I don't have any want to play that game. It's just the savage, like, don't care. They are really good. Especially like, like I don't think like super young kids like Brendan has, but like in a few years, like I think, it's because it looks like an animated kind of movie. Like if you can kind of,
I love Sunset Overdrive. That's actually, I think Sunset Overdrive might be Xbox One's best exclusive. Yeah. I hear that if I would play Ratchet, you see a lot of Sunset in there. Is that true? Or is it just more like the weapons?
I see Spider-Man in it.
No, I know that. I know I've played Spider-Man. I've got.
I think there's rail riding in Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah, there's rail riding and stuff. That's just a bit.
Yeah,
a little bit
platforming maybe. But but Sunset Overdrive, you guys, gosh, why can't we get
so good?
Yeah, my son absolutely loved the Ratchet and Clank games because he loved the twitch nature of it. He loved switching out the weapons. He loved how he could max the weapons out, and it just kind of scratched that RPG itch in a way that he really loved.
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. Well, very good. Well, we have once again solved this mystery with only a few misinformed opinions. But that's
all right. Well, one more question for you guys. Todd, what are you drinking over there? Is that
I am having a Sierra Nevada.
I was going to say
Top Bullet.
I was going to say some sort of IPA over there, and then you've got some Nova Scotian dark nasty caca over there. What's going on?
This is a very, very special and exclusive drink to Nova Scotia. I believe you would pronounce it Diet Pepsi.
Oh, I thought it was like a Guinness or something.
No, it's Diet Pepsi. That's
okay.
It's better in French.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. So that leaves us from Byron Return to the news. 2 stories this week. Actually, from last week. It's Monday we record. The first one is because Mark is a regular Jedi, a Canadian Jedi as we have him. Jabba Hutt and Kira were both shown in the Star Wars Outlaws story trailer. So, Mark, when I was on the Nerd Chat, they talked a little bit about this, and so now I want your opinion on where you stand with this game and what you saw.
Okay, so the trailer looked amazing. As a Star Wars fan, seeing this kind of like the underbelly during the Empire, I love that. And they say it in the trailer, like the Empire's got their little claws everywhere, but they're also kind of letting some stuff slide because they're so busy with the rebellion. So it's a great time to be a crime boss or a criminal or some sort of seedy underbelly kind of person. So that being the setting, throwing in like a great looking protagonist with a really cute looking pet / helper kind of thing. Just instant wins for me. I just kind of love how it looks. You throw in Jabba, you throw in Kira in the trailer, and it's hitting on a whole bunch of really interesting story points for Star Wars. You see Han Solo frozen in carbonite, so it gives you kind of a time and a place of where this is happening in the Star Wars universe. So just really, really great stuff. And then they hit you with the season pass shenanigans.
Yeah.
So, man.
But what if it hits? What if it's great DLC?
See, that's the thing. It's locked behind the what's it called? Ultimate or Gold edition of the game or something.
Gold
like
edition,
that.
110
What are the
bucks.
missions? Some of the missions or something.
And so I said this in our Discord group because someone brought up the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy. So like, what wasn't there a mission in that was locked behind? And I said, yes, absolutely. There was one single like haunted something mission that needed the extra edition. But that one was a $10 jump. So if you really like wanted to play that, it's $10. If you're a huge fan and you want 100% the game, there's your extra little incentive or whatever. And then you got some extra bonuses too. So it was like $10 for what seemed to me, and I didn't really look into these when the game came out. I literally looked at them today and it was like a $10 difference. I was like, I don't know. It seems all right. If I was interested in that game, like I'm interested in this Star Wars game, that $10 difference would be like, play it a little bit early, get some cool skins and get an extra mission for $10. I'm in. This one, for some reason, and I'm not trying to defend those practices of like locking a day one mission behind like a paywall of that kind of like, you know, get the extra edition. But like for $10, I can almost kind of overlook it. It still sucks, still a little seedy, but like I'm overlooking it. This one, the regular game costs $70. The gold edition costs $110 and the ultimate costs $130. And it's locked behind those last two. So the jump from 70 to 110, I think, is insane. Like there's no little $10 jump. There's no little increment of that. That's a big jump. And to lock what could be a cool mission, Jabba's Gambit, sounds like, you know, they're saying here, it sounds like an introductory mission for the crime boss. Just as Kay is putting together a crew for a Canto Bite heist, she receives a job from Jabba the Hutt himself. Turns out that someone owes Jabba a debt from years ago, and he has come to collect. That sounds really interesting. And I hate that it's locked behind such an expensive gold edition. I'll be completely honest.
That in Canadian, Mark? How much is 110?
It's like $300 or something.
Yeah, I got to sort of remortgage my house.
How many loonies are we talking
that's
here?
A whole lot of loonies, more than I can fit in my Jeanco jeans.
Yes. Right now, folks.
That's it. It's 100%.
It fits in one pocket.
Yeah, I'm definitely not going Winnie the Pooh style right now. Just definitely wearing Jeanco jeans. Just joking. I'm wearing pants. But I hate this so much. I hate that the gold edition, like I hate that there's no middle ground. Like make it, $10 or something like that. I get it. So this is one of those times where like we have a great relationship with Ubisoft Canada. I just emailed our rep with a couple of links about like, talking about their games and different things, and just like I don't want to, but whatever, I'll mess things up. Like this is a wait for a sale. This is like this is one of those things where it's like you just can't defend it, especially where a lot of these games do go on sale like 6 months or a year later,
especially Ubisoft games.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like Ubisoft games.
Mark,
like,
what do you primarily play on? What's your
Xbox.
primary platform? Okay.
Xbox.
I was going to say on PC, you could. Does Ubisoft have some sort of like monthly thing where you can just try it through that? Right?
Yes, Ubisoft Plus is now on Xbox.
Yeah,
and it's $17.99 a month. And
does it include
you get So the version you get on Ubisoft Plus is the best edition.
There you go.
Yeah.
So, Mark, I mean, maybe you say, I don't want to own this. I'll spend 17 bones for 2 months.
Yeah.
Or come back when the rest of the DLC is dropped.
Yeah.
And play it again.
Yeah, absolutely. So there are other ways to play for sure. And yet they have confirmed that Ubisoft Plus Premium is the other way to get it. So Gold, Ultimate Edition, or Ubisoft Plus Premium. I still find it seedy. I still find for some reason that price jump to me is what's killing me. Again, if this was like $10, I think I could kind of overlook it. And just say like, I'm a big fan. I need to play the Jabba mission. But yeah, for me to drop $110 on a game for one mission and maybe, I don't know, some of the other DLC, I haven't looked up what comes in the Gold Edition or the Ultimate Edition aside from this Jabba mission. I have no idea.
What if they throw in a stuffed porg?
I'm in and I will taste it on the podcast live.
Is that the cute things in that horrible The Last Jedi movie, the little poof?
That's the ones.
Thing? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, okay. They're the ones. I will air fry it and try it live on the podcast. So I don't know, man. I hate that it's like $40 extra to unlock one stupid mission that I desperately want to play because I'm an idiot.
I mean, so Todd and I were talking about this on Nerd Chat earlier this week. We were talking about tipping developers. I'm sure you read and have seen by the way, did you see Ibarra's tweet? Like, I remember looking at it initially about tipping. It was like 200,000 views. It's up to like almost 1 million now, which is crazy. So it's clearly taking off for all the wrong reasons. But
that's from the Nerd Chat. I mean, that was the boost.
Yeah, exactly. We can put the word out there. But I was going to say, Mark, if a developer is confident in their product, what's wrong with them charging these different, like Todd said, the $90, what was that? Whatever you said.
Clay Fighter, 63 and a third. Yep.
I mean, but they're giving you options. They are giving you the Ubisoft Premium. So, but I'll just say quickly for me, I'm right there with you. This is a wait and sale. I'm interested in this game, but I'm not like, I'm going to have to play it. And surprisingly, I've always played the Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan, and I've played the Star Wars Jedi games later on. I've always played them on sale. And actually, I think I didn't play Jedi Fallen Order. I played that on Game Pass. And I felt guilty because I was like, whoa, I got every achievement. I was like, I should have paid full price for this game. I can't believe I'm paying.
No, that's the thing. Is so that those games, or especially Fallen Order, you did the right thing. Absolutely. As someone who bought that day one and played the hell out of it was broken as hell.
Okay, well.
So you did the right thing.
Water. Now let me correct that though. I bought Fallen Order day one. And I was very disappointed with the performance I got. And it even got to the point where I'm like, this is affecting my feelings about this game. That is not cool because it was broken. And of course, after I finished it, if I had just waited, I even bought it and I even waited months. I didn't play Fallen Order or Survivor until probably 4 or 5 months after. And of course, right after I finished it, hey, we've got that patch. Here's the fixed game and it runs great now. I'm like, cool. But regardless, I do tend to wait on these games, and for some reason I'm not as high on this, even though I tend to like Ubisoft games occasionally, and I really like Massive. Isn't that right? The right, Todd, who's making it? Isn't
yes, Massive Division 1, Division 2,
like that kind of gameplay. From what I've seen, it looks kind of similar. So for me, even though we drafted it in our Fantasy Critic, I'm interested, but I will wait, but I'm not as diehard as you. I don't care if I play as Jabba the Hutt. I feel like those cameos, like even in Survivor, I'm like, okay, that was cool, but I mean, was it besides one really, really cool one? Like, you run into a certain. I don't want to spoil it, but you run into somebody.
I know who you're talking about exactly.
These random side missions. If you collect all these things, I'm like, okay, that was
cool. I didn't do, but I missed out on that.
Yeah, because you can play. I've talked about it. Don't even know. Yeah, I've talked about it on this show and my Star Wars show. Like, You can play that whole game straight through and never ever see that this character's
that's what happened with Bacon on Nerd Chat. Our other co-host, he's like, "What?" He's like, "You can run into him." I'm like, "Yes."
I saw a cutscene of him. I'm like, "What? Crap!"
So there you go.
But I mean, that game had so much content. You could even have a garden on your roof of the cantina.
Oh, I hated that.
It was amazing. Now I will say,
too big.
I don't mind.
That's my critique of that game. It was overwhelming at times, especially what was the main planet, whatever it is, starts with the J. The main one where you're far. Yeah, what is it? No. What's the main planet that you're on?
I cannot remember.
Anyway, the main planet that you're on, I was like, this is game developers. Condense everything in half. Cut it in half. We will still have just as much fun. We will still have just as much to do. There's still plenty of content. Please, for the love of God, just cut everything in half. So sorry. So yes, I'm excited for this. Not a day one for me. Todd, or I think you said you were getting this day one.
I have GameFly, so that's I'm the oldest person on the planet who has GameFly. I get all these games. I just got Rise of Ronin in the mail because I'm like, I need something else to play because Dragon's Dogma didn't grab me. So So it's in my queue. The thing with me on this, it just seems weird. I totally get the season pass. Totally do. Maybe it's something they're still working on. Still have to tweak some stuff that gives them some time. TBD, we don't know what's in it. You can always get the season pass later if you don't want to. It's the fact that there's a mission that is already done. That is it's behind that door, but we're going to have to sell you the key. That's the thing I don't like, because it just feels like this is content that should be in the game. The season pass, totally get it with the extra cosmetics, start book, whatever. It's that part right there. Just like you put it behind a $40 paywall.
And you know what other series did this exact same thing in its final entry in the third game of its series? Mass Effect 3. The Javik mission was tied only to, I'm pretty sure, like the legendary edition, or you had to pay to get it. And Javik's a very important character in the game who provides so much context to so many things. And if you don't have him, it's wild. And now in the legendary edition, everything's there. But I do remember, I'm like, I mean, I've still got the legendary edition back there, and it's like
everyone can be bought. Dan, that's what we're saying.
Yes.
Just whatever it's finding that thing that you'll buy.
I'm interested to see how this does for Ubisoft, because how many people are really going to spend that $130 or just do the Ubisoft Premium or figure out some.
I think that's part of their
for sure
strategy, because they want people to play it. It's on Xbox now. It's the Xbox, or Ubisoft owns Xbox.
The streaming
for certain things. Activision games. So I think this is their just way to get people out there. And the fact is, like I said, you could play this day one with that, get all that mission with Jabba, $18 in, play the Prince of Persia game, play whatever else, the Avatar game, wait, come back when all the season passes out, subscribe again. $35 and you maybe get every of the content.
They got Bacon. He wants to play this. Remember, he wants to play this, and for some reason, Skull and Bones. That's the other one he wants.
Or even Skull and Bones. There you go. So there we go. But I will say, I appreciate the folks over at Ubisoft, and maybe their kind hearts will find their way over to maybe a Ubisoft Plus subscription. Maybe, Mark. I don't know. Sweet talk.
We'll see.
You got those blue eyes. They look at you and they get all dreamy. They They smell your sweater. And they sing a song about you.
That's how that works.
It worked for Jason Momoa.
Yeah, we're basically the same person.
Exactly. Yeah, I always say that. Mark, Jason Momoa. I never knew who I'm.
You've never seen the two of us in the room at the same time, so it makes you wonder.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You play a stunt double in the Fast and Furious film. Moving on. Let us know, though, folks, if you're all in, you're going to hold back, wait for the Ubisoft discount. Let us know, or you're going to go all in on Ubisoft Plus and check out that subscription service. But we get into something that was kind of cool. It's a new show called the Triple I Indie Showcase. This is kind of neat, because this is like the indies coming all together and saying, this is the best and brightest that we have to offer. There are so many indie titles, but these are the ones that really cut through. They really demonstrate that we can make indies that look like they are AAA games or something of that passion. And so they had like 40 games shown, but there's been some websites that have shown kind of the best and brightest of these games. And I picked 3. So, gentlemen, I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at any of the trailers or any of the screenshots of any of these games. Obviously, the biggest announcement was the Rogue Prince of Persia trailer that was announced and shown by, I believe, the co-developers of Dead Cells. So, any picks of what they showcased?
I can go, Mark, if you know. Actually, I was just looking through this. So, shout out, I gotta say, I did watch the Prince of Persia. What's going on with that? How come we're getting all these Prince of Persia games, by the way?
It's weird.
It's weird. Very weird.
Is this coming out this year? I'm trying to see.
It's supposed to come out this year. Yeah.
Crazy. Well, either way, loved what I saw. I'm all about the platforming. I realized that's just a genre of game that I grew up with. Speaking earlier, Super Nintendo. I love platformers. So definitely interested in this. I still need to play the last one. And I hear it's fantastic. I know.
So good.
So good.
I hear it's so good, but like,
so really long
better?
though.
Guys, is anything really better than Ori?
Long.
Is anything really better than Ori? In the Blind Forest.
I think it's got, if you like good combat, I think Ori has decent combat. This has amazing
combat. Is it better than Metroid Dread?
For me, yes.
Ooh. Okay, well,
it's different. If you liked Tunic, you're going to like this. Because
I hear
it's Metroid Dread style, like movement and traversal with more Tunic style, like timing, reacting, parrying kind of combat. It's really good. Some of the boss battles really, really hung me up in Prince of Persia. It's really good. Yeah.
I know. The backlog, guys. The backlog.
I know.
Okay. Next one I saw that I liked was the Gestalt Steam and Cinder. Yes. Didn't know anything about this, but I'm loving every second of it. This looks like a classic SNES. I don't know, kind of like a little bit of a Castlevania meets kind of like those old Capcom. Did you guys ever play X-Men Mutant Apocalypse on the Super Nintendo? Did either of you play this?
Yeah.
One of the greatest games ever made.
Side-scrolling action game.
Exactly. Yep. Side-scroller. Yep. I love what I saw out of that one. I have not played any of the Hyperlight games. I see there's this Hyperlight Breaker, but it looked interesting. And surprisingly, one that I did play, got 1,000 out of 1,000 on randomly because I think it was on Game Pass, was Never Alone. Just a little... and up there in Nova Scotia over you and what's the Northern Territories or something? I'm pretty sure it's based on like what is a Native American? Well, I guess not a Native Canadian. I don't know what you call the natives in Canada up there, but I'm pretty sure it's like based up there in like what's that territory way up there in Canada?
Like Nunavut. Or something
something like that.
Okay.
Yeah, very simple platformer. I did play the first one, and there's a Never Alone too. And so, I mean,
rolling a white fox, Arctic fox, right?
So I don't remember the fox having a big. It was very simple. I remember it was very easy, but like, I enjoyed the short time I had with it. But here's the thing, guys. Here's the problem. There's only so much time, right? You got so much on your backlog. Okay. And these games look fantastic. Nothing against them. But if it's not in Game Pass, I'm probably not going to play it. Like, and I know that sounds awful, but it's true. Like, Game Pass is that easy access, the accessibility with Game Pass, especially in these, like, I've played so many great games in Game Pass because it was there and I could download it and I didn't have to pay. Well, I mean, I'm paying a part of my subscription. So as much as I love these games, like if it's not on Game Pass, I'm like, there's a lot of other great AAA, AA games where I'm like, I don't know if I can quite do this right now. But for sure, I will say that Gestalt 1 and the Sands of Time, but I still need to play the other Prince of Persia game. Those are the ones that stood out to me.
Yeah. Same. Prince of Persia for sure. That trailer was so good.
Yeah.
Just so good. Love the art style. And having just played the new Prince of Persia game, like it's so weird. Like you said, why is this just coming back with two games in a year that both look amazing? So I don't know.
And similar, right? Don't they look a little similar in gameplay?
I mean, like gameplay kind of like it's, it's different enough that it's like, okay, that's cool, but like this, it's still very strange that we're getting 2 Prince of Persia games that close when the series has just been kind of stagnant or completely dead for 77 years. Like, what's happening right now? Who stepped on a butterfly somewhere in the past to bring us this franchise back and just hitting on multiple levels? I don't know. It's weird, but I will take it all because it's a fantastic series and looks like a fantastic game. And the last one was great. Also very pumped for more Vampire Survivors. Contra expansion.
Contra. So odd. And the trailer's
Hell
great,
yeah.
by the way. Watch the trailer.
Excellent. Excellent.
I've never played. I never played Vampire Survivors. I know. I need
It's on Game Pass. Go.
I know. It's like $2
It's also
anyway.
for free on mobile, and the mobile
Free on
version's
mobile.
amazing.
It is.
It can't be that good. Phil Spencer can't be that good, Phil. Even though Bacon would kill me.
I put my what is it? My GameSir G8 on it. Some people have Backbone. It's so good. I played it in Europe, and I loved it.
I know.
It even runs really well on Switch, which I didn't expect. And I have triple dipped on this game. No, I'm serious. Like it is so good. I played
$7.
I did, yeah, with the DLC everywhere.
Wait. That's like $20 Canadian. Sorry.
That's right. Yeah,
tax DLC for $7.
That's I couldn't upsize my poutine. It was terrible.
Poutine?
Yeah. Vampire Survivors is so good. That was our game of the year. Last year?
That's
the year
true.
Before, whenever it came out. Yep. That's the year before. So good. So any more?
Wait.
Good.
2022 game of the year was Vampire Survivors.
That's
Ours.
the one. Yeah.
Not Elden Ring.
Todd,
the game of a generation.
So Todd and I
of all time.
Todd and I both have to play a game and agree on the game in our top 5 for that game to be the co-op mode game of the year. So he could have picked Elden Ring, and then I didn't play Elden Ring, so it couldn't have. But so we both played Vampire Survivors.
Yeah. So if Nerd Chat had to pick one game that was both on the highest ranking game that's on everybody's list,
it was Elden Ring.
Whether it's number
unanimous.
Yes.
Just like Starfield last year for us. Well, actually, I think Bacon would have said it might have been. No, it was last year. Last year was Baldur's Gate for him. So never mind.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So like sometimes we've even considered, do we have to go to like to 10?
Yeah.
Because we run out of games.
This
year
tough.
might be hard.
I mean, I've to be fair, I've heard great things about vampires. I'm just giving you crap, but
it's just
Elden Ring.
concept, and we couldn't stop playing it.
Yeah,
no, I hear
you. Yeah, okay. You got hooked. Yeah. So this, good showcase. But like Dan, I'm backing up kind of what you're saying. Like if this isn't free to me, essentially, like a lot of these games, and that was the problem with Prince of Persia. And I think I talked about this in the last episode. But like, I didn't know where to buy it because it wasn't on Game Pass. There was a free demo on Switch. I knew it would run better on Xbox, but it was like the Switch was there and I can kind of play it like while my kid's watching TV. So I was like, I guess I'll get it on Switch. But like if there's no demo and it doesn't hook me right away and it's not free, it's like, man, you really got to do something to grab my attention. So
and you waited and you got it for $30.
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
So I was happy I waited.
The Ubisoft discount.
Again, that's the Ubisoft. Yeah. Yeah. Todd, what kind of stood out to you here?
So you both have mentioned the first two. So I'm going to give you another one. It's called Mouse. In this game,
I forgot about that. That was at the very end. I've seen Mouse before. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's Cuphead plus Doom, and essentially they just said we're just going to use the Steamboat Willie license, and use that. And
isn't that like
exactly like
public domain?
Public domain.
Yes, yes. So they just said, hey, you know what? We're going to go all in and just use that art style and make a first-person shooter, and everybody looks like Steamboat Willie, and it's amazing looking. Yep. It's wonderful. And the funny part is like you use spinach as a power-up, so they're even going after Popeye. It's just crazy. It's so ingenious.
I like it.
My son's big into indies and things like that, so I can see a couple that of these that he would like. One of those was I think it was called Rogue. What was it called? Streets of Rogue 2.
Streets of Rogue,
fun game. It's a mashup of different genres. You'd love that. The other game that I thought looked amazing, and they didn't really show much gameplay, but the visuals are amazing, and it's RKGK, and it looks like a modern version of what's the game where you skateboard or you rollerblade and you tag things,
like Jet Set Radio,
the Dreamcast.
Jet Set Radio, yeah.
But it's amazing looking. It looks like next gen, and it looks awesome. So that's the other game I would say that I think really stood out. Apparently, there was also another thing that I thought was kind of cool. There's a game called V Rising, which is basically a vampire survivor game where you build things and you get you convert people to vampires that do your bidding and things. That's getting Castlevania elements in it. They're partnering with Konami, so I thought that was kind of cool too. But yeah, so what I'm hoping. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry, I was going to say I just looked at the arcade GK. It didn't really have any gameplay though, right?
No gameplay. But if
it did have cool art style, but when you don't show me gameplay, red flag.
It's how far is this away? Is it a thing? What's it going to look like? Yeah. But what I'm hoping is this was such a big event, got a lot of press, got a lot of big things behind it, and apparently people were upset because there was no Silk song shown because they thought, this is where it's going to show. But I'm hoping Xbox, PlayStation, well, Nintendo won't. I don't know. Maybe Nintendo would say, yeah, we'll add you onto our service. I'm hoping PlayStation and Xbox looked at this and said, we're going to put you on Game Pass. That's all I can hope. Or put you on PS Plus. That's all I can hope. That's
like there's a
wait for sales.
The most Game Pass ass game I can think of on this is Dino Lords, because just the name.
Did you watch it?
Yeah, it doesn't look like my type of game at all. So it's not something that I'm going to spend money on. But if that is free to me or has a super low barrier of entry, I am going to try that, because it's not something that I'm going to play. It's not something I'm going to really stick with for any amount of time. I don't think it just doesn't scream like a game that I'm really desperately needing. But it's here's a strategy game, medieval themed, and then there were dinosaurs. What the hell? That looks awesome.
Dinosaurs with Viking armor. Yeah.
Yeah. It looks so ridiculous.
Looks goofy too.
It does. It really does. But do I want to spend money on it on a strategy game? I don't know. I'm not really sure. They need to have a really, really great demo, but I will try the hell out of it on Game Pass. Just like I played, what's the Jurassic World game? Park sims aren't my jam, but it was on Game Pass. So I was screw it. I'll mess around with dinosaurs for a few hours.
Can my 6-year-old play that Jurassic World Evolution game? Too complicated.
There's some complicated stuff. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, watch it.
Is it violent? Are they shredding humans apart in there?
They don't shred them, but they you'll know that the dinosaurs are killing people. Yeah. Okay. But it's not gruesome, there's blood everywhere. There's a trail of being dragged back to the paddock or something. It's just hey, you lost 7 guests. It's okay, cool. How will we open? It's don't worry about it. It's fine. Close the gate and get people back. Yeah. So I'm gonna that one for me is just screaming this needs to be on a service.
Yeah, and if that game comes to Xbox, I do support mouse and keyboard too. So put that out there as a thought process. Well, I hope. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was going to say, just to follow up on the Never Alone, it was about a Native Americans in Alaska, a tribe in Alaska. So I want to clarify that. I looked it up, and it's the Inupiaq. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but northwestern Alaska. And that's what was cool about it too, is it kind of gave you a little bit of their history as you're going through the platforming. So I do recommend. I think it was on Game Pass. It might still be there. Simple platformer. Sorry, Never Alone.
Very cool. Well, check out the III showcase. Lots of games. There'll be a link to what we liked in the show notes. But yeah, there's something for everybody there.
Todd, thanks for sharing that. I completely missed that, and I'm glad to talk about that and see those games. We should have talked about that on the Nerd Chat. Maybe we have to add it to the notes this week. So.
Well, I will say this: big props to Kyle Stevenson over at
that's where I heard him talking about it. Yeah,
Kyle, he does a great show with the 6-1 Indie Group. They do their own showcase. They're always calling out indies. I'm really bad. I am one of those, slob of gamers that don't play the. I mean, Balatro, I think, was the most indie game I've played this year.
I mean,
but everybody else has.
That's
too.
like one guy, right? And shout out to The Verge, by the way. They have the best articles with these.
Oh, absolutely, and I'm
the cleanest. Layout. So
yeah. They've got great writers. They do great content over there. So thank you. And then Forbes brought our article about Star Wars Outlaws. So thank you, Paul Tassi. I believe he does all the work there. He does a lot of Destiny stuff. He's their Destiny guy.
Yeah.
So thank you, Paul. Yeah. Well, very good. That's the news portion of the show. We're now going to get into what we've been gaming. So Dan, did you stop playing Call of Duty and do something else?
No.
If you say that's why you're not getting to your backlog, you only have yourself to blame.
It's true. But here's the thing. Back in Warzone, I mean, I don't know if you heard, but Rebirth Island is back. And I told you about this on the Nerd Chat. I'm back in 2020 pandemic mode. I'm dropping every night. I'm grinding away. I've got 8 of the 30 required wins you need to qualify to getting a nuke. So we're on our way. So I've been playing Warzone with the boys. That's, like I said, guilty pleasure, play with the guys kind of game. Sometimes we'll jump into Halo Infinite too. But the other games I've been playing, big surprise, Mass Effect 3 Legendary Edition. Mark, I don't know if you knew this, but I have every achievement on 360 for Mass Effect Trilogy, every achievement on Xbox One with the Legendary Edition, every Platinum Trophy on PS3 with the original release, every Platinum Trophy on the Legendary Edition. Now I'm trying to go through on Steam right now. So as you can tell, big Mass Effect fan.
It would actually be the funniest thing in the world. Is like, but I hate these games. I did it because someone dared me. I lost a bet 12 years ago.
Exactly. Every version that ever comes out, you'll have to do this. Take it. Remember that version on Stadia? You'll never finished it.
Oh, no, don't tell me there's a Stadia version because I would lose it because that would ruin my streak. But here's the thing about Mass Effect.
Are you familiar with the console called the Ouya?
Of course I know the Ouya. Of course.
It's on there too.
Did not buy it. But here's the thing with my playthroughs. I usually am always Paragon or full Renegade. This is the first time where I'm switching. And I was telling Todd about this. And 2,
Shades of Gray.
I'm getting pissed off. And I'm pulling that right trigger. I'm doing the Renegade actions. And now in 3, full rate. I had a beautiful face. Now the scarring has come back. I look heinous now. I'm at the Genophage part. No spoilers, but I don't know what's going to happen to Mordin, you guys. And I love Mordin. He's my homeboy. So that's where I am in Mass Effect 3. And then the last game that I've been playing, so random. And I can't believe I've got like 44 hours in this game. Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning.
Oh,
I never played.
Talk about a remake.
I never played that in 360. Always heard decent things about it. And at first I was like, I even Zeeted X Platform quoted about this. I said, man, I'm really loving this game. I love the combat. And I do think the combat is really cool. It's kind of like Fable, but a little bit more difficult, but it still gives you the options. You can either be full mage, you can go full melee, you can do a little bit of the rogue archery build. I really liked it. But then as I've played more and more of it, you're basically going from one cave to the next. Yes. You're walking through some paths. You can find a boss at the end, and that's it. That's literally it. Like, that's all I'm doing. And yet, I've completed the main story. I've done the first DLC, and now I'm on to the next. And it's weird. I just play it, and I just kind of zone out, listen to a podcast. It's like my podcast game. And I keep coming back to it. For some reason, it's bringing me back to the 360 days. So I appreciate, I can see why it was a highly rated game back in whatever it was, on the 360. But we've come so far, guys. So I recommend this? Probably not. But I think I only paid like $5 for it. Have I gotten my $5 worth with 44 hours? Yes. So shout out Kingdoms of Amalur Re-Reckoning. And
are you familiar with the creator of that game, the super game it was going to be? There was going to be an MMO. Kurt Schilling.
I do know it's Kurt Schilling's studio. Big, awesome games or something like that. It's still there. The logo, you still see it on there. Yes, I do remember Kurt Schilling.
This was the game that was going to fund their MMO, and it was going to do all this stuff. And my Rhode Island's like, fund us, please. Yeah.
But I mean, shout out to Kurt Schilling. I'll never forget his performance in the ALCS. Yes,
bloody
with the bloody sock.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be real, guys. That was
No, that game was really fun. But it showed it hands early of what it was going to be.
Yeah, and I didn't know that.
And it was never more than that. But fun. Some of the great combat. It looked cool. It was very awesome.
It even has like a decent parry system that's not impossible, like like a Souls game or a Sekiro or something. It's like, and it's fun, it's satisfying. So they had something there with that combat. Easily the best part of the game, and why I keep playing it. So shut up.
You can tell they wanted to make an MMO instead.
Because how open in the caves. Yeah,
you're
right.
Yeah, not a lot to do. A lot of fetch quests. A lot of
40,
10 glyphrids. Yeah. Well, very, very good. I appreciate your honesty. That's your guilty pleasure game right there.
Right now it is, for sure. You're right.
Yeah.
Play Evil West. That's all I'll say. Play Evil West. That is a guilty pleasure game.
But I liked God of War, but I didn't love it. And I hear it's more like God of War.
No, Evil West.
Remnant. I know, but aren't they similar?
No. Evil West is shooting things with guns, killing vampires.
Okay. Well,
it's
now
goofy.
you're talking to me.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun. I loved it. It's like Wild Wild West with vampires.
Did you guys play Weird West on Game Pass?
I did. That was a unique game.
Yes.
I really enjoyed what they were going after.
Okay. Yeah. I did too, but again, after a while I was like, why am I still playing this? I feel like I'm doing this. But I'm one of those guys, you guys, I'll admit it, once I play a game, I got to finish it. Like I can't move on until I beat the game. I'm just not a quitter, Mark. I can't quit.
I respect that.
I'm not a quitter. Yeah. Unless it's, I don't even know. I mean, there have been games where I'm like, I hate this, and I've still finished it. So I'm not like, I don't know. I'm not like Todd over there. He's just got the gameplay. I'd be like, screw this. I can just return it and move on. So yeah. But most of the time, I picked good games.
Well, the good thing is, Dan, apparently if you look it up, there's ways to put your gaming libraries in your will for your children. So that's their burden. Like, to receive my inheritance, you must beat my backlog.
That's I'll talk about it later. I'll bring something else up about basically passing on your gamer score or your platinum trophies to your family members. Can we do that in the future? So
my son wouldn't want mine. He's like, Dad, what are you doing? You're pathetic.
I know. He's my
when your kids get up a certain age, score, like, Dad, what are you even doing?
Oh no,
you didn't play, Dad.
I know. All right, that's all I've been playing, boys.
Yeah,
awesome. Well, Mark, we have nowhere to go but up, and you're going to take us there.
Sure. I've been playing a hell of a lot of ARMS on Switch.
I don't even know what you just said to me.
Yeah. So I.
What is that? What is the song, Mark? Was it?
Yeah. So I've been playing, as I've talked on the last couple of episodes. Finn has been really getting into gaming. He loves Kirby and the Forgotten Kingdom. We've pretty much 100%ed that. I think I need.
Wait, Mark. Have you played Bluey?
Yes.
Bluey was a fantastic first game for my son. His first 1,000 out of 1,000 Chivos. Got to shout out Grayson. Bluey, fantastic first game. It forces you to like move in that 3D space. Couldn't recommend it enough for younger kids. Shout out
absolutely. We play. We played Bluey this week. He loves going into Bluey. A lot of the Outright games are so good as like first games, like Bluey and Gigantosaurus Racing were two of the top.
Forza
games.
Horizon. My son loves Forza Horizon. Just being able to drive in the open world.
Is there like control modes or something so you don't kill yourself?
You can do it where it's like you can race and it just races for you, but he liked being able to like control where he goes and just being able to just go. I can go over here. I can go over here. Forza Horizon, try that one.
I cannot go near a vehicle in Fortnite without Finn going, it's my turn. Like if he sees a vehicle, it's like, oh no, I'm driving. And he knows now to drive away from the storm. If he sees a blue wall, he's like, I got to turn this around. Let's go. And like we've teamed up and gotten a few victory royales at this point. It's ridiculous. But this week, so he's been trying to branch out because we're basically finished with Kirby, and he's like, what else is here? And he knows how to operate the Switch and scroll through the games. And he saw ARMS, and my wife was like, I think he could probably play ARMS because it's, you know, it's like punching and gets him active and not just like holding a controller. I was like, screw it. Yeah, let's pop it in. I haven't played that game since like the Switch came out basically. And that was fairly early kind of launch title or whatever. So we went through the tutorial, you know, like tilt to move and whatever, and throw some punches. And he has been absolutely loving it. And he loves just boxing with me and just like running around. We stand up. We have to play it with the Joy-Con in your hand. We have to stand up. There's no playing it on the couch in my house. You have to move around. You have to float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. And that's what we're doing. So it's a great way to just like, he can still play the video games that he wants to play, but it's still kind of like at least getting up and moving a little bit. And then it's like, okay, cool. Let's continue this. And it's nice outside and let's go for a walk instead of just stare at a screen all day. So, so that there's, you know, a little bit of those kind of bonuses with ARMS, but it's fun to get back into it. I forgot kind of how good that game was. And like, there's a ton of different modes. There's a ton of different little, power-ups or not power-ups, like gloves that you can get for each of the characters. So we've been unlocking some more stuff that I didn't unlock the first time I played this. So it's been fun to jump back in. And that kind of got him into Smash Brothers as well. He wants to keep trying different fighting games. So I just turned myself up to 300% damage and like actually give it a go to see if I can kick the crap out of him with 300% damage. I got embarrassed the other day because I tried and he whooped me. It was like my wife was watching. She was like, "Were you trying?" I was like, "Shut up." Shut up. So he's getting good. But that's it. I've been playing, mostly the stuff I've been playing has been with Finn, and that's been great. When I have like free time to myself, I've been trying to like jump between watching the Fallout series and like sanding Mandalorian armor. So,
wow.
Yeah. And then I stopped to do that, and I made a Loki helmet for a project that's going to be.
You made that?
Loki. Okay.
That's amazing, Mark.
Yeah, I
just thought you were
3D
just showing up
printed
to
and
be a
painted
weirdo.
this like really, really quickly. I got
That's
invited to
amazing.
like a
That's
collaboration video, and I was like, okay, I think I can. The person asked me, they were like, "Hey, do you ever do like a Loki like cosplay or anything?" I was like, "No, it's not really something I've ever thought about." And they're like, "Well, if you're interested in this video, we're doing like a bunch of variants for different like Instagram awesome. People." And I was like, "Cool, give me 24 hours to print and spray paint a helmet, and we'll be good to go." So I did.
Ren would make a good Loki.
Yeah, she just kind of like, she looked at it and she just shook her head, but then she saw the finished product. She's like, that actually looks kind of cool. But yeah, she would actually. I'm going to see if I can get her
there you go.
to jump in there. But yeah, so I haven't been playing much of my own, but it's been really fun to see Finn kind of jump through the gaming library. And ARMS was a real cool throwback of something I haven't played in years. That you don't see a lot of Switch games ever since that early experimentation phase use the Joy-Con in those kind of ways. Like the Joy-Con has a lot of tech of like, again, that like Wii style motion control and like, you know, what was it called? 1-2 switch of like, you know, pouring ice cubes.
Mark,
and all
they
that
made
kind of
the everybody 1-2 switch. Come on.
That's it. Yeah. And I've skipped both of those.
Horsehead.
I might have to order some horse masks and get that game. That sounds like a good plan. And I have been playing a little bit more of Prince of Persia, but very, very minimal. So I didn't add that to my list. But yeah, I'm almost also through, like I said, almost through the Fallout series. I think I have 2 more episodes, maybe 2 or 3.
So good.
It's so
I'm like
good.
3 episodes.
Holy crap, it's good. And
I'm only 2.
I downloaded, re-downloaded Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. I've played the hell out of Fallout 4 before, but I've never played Fallout 76. So I'm looking forward to trying to get into that game now that it's yeah.
I got every achievement on Fallout 4. That's my favorite one. That was actually my first Fallout. And then I went back and played 3 in New Vegas. I got to say, I like 3 over New Vegas. I know a lot of people like New Vegas. I was like, this is okay. But a lot of people, it's so funny you mentioned that, jumping back into it and like, where do I start? I think you got to start with 4 just because it's the most accessible. Like having a sprint, having those powers, the jump, like it's hard to go back to 3 in New Vegas. And it's 76. I was one of the first people who played, not one of the first, I was one of the few people who played 76 towards the beginning of it before they added NPCs, like when it was just all robots talking and nobody was around. And I had a good time. I treated it like a single player Fallout game, and I got all the way through to the end. I don't think I finished like the last mission because it was
Before
you basically
the nuke
needed
whatever
people.
they did.
No, and I've done some of the it's guys, it's a completely different game now. There's NPCs everywhere now. It's if you again, but I mean, be careful because you get sucked in because it's,
it's free on if you have Amazon Prime. They give you a.
I mean, it's free on Game Pass too.
It's on Game Pass too. Yeah.
And well, if you aren't a subscriber though, you get you can get a PC copy for free, and you get.
I thought it was just on Luna. Oh no, you're right. You're right. The 76 is
Luna's
free,
3
right?
and
The other ones,
and New Vegas. Yeah, because they haven't made a modern version of that yet.
I think it's so cool to see the popularity of it, like all those tweets saying like welcome Vault Dwellers, the most for players. And I do want to say like the thing about 76, every time I've gone and played back, like jumped back in randomly, the nicest community. I know you guys have heard that. It is so true. Every time I go, random people will be like, take these guns, take this ammo, take these health kits. Like all the time, people are so helpful. I'll help you with this mission. I'll help you with your base. Like I cannot recommend that community enough. And it is really special with 76. So
that's amazing.
Cool. I have enjoyed all my time I've played on it.
They are downloaded on my Xbox. I really have to jump in. I'm hoping I have some time this week. So,
Mark,
hopefully next episode will be all Fallout. We'll talk about the show and the games and everything else.
So, I want to warn you: the next gen patch for Fallout 4 is coming April 25th.
Yeah.
So,
which is very confusing.
76 first.
We talked about that. Yeah. It runs great right now. If you want to jump in, it runs. It's 4K right now.
Yeah, they're gonna bring the love though. I think that's what's important. Yeah, which is good because I and that's the thing because this is weird. So I own Fallout 4 on PlayStation. Actually, I'm one of the few people I remote played that on my Vita on PlayStation, but it didn't have any triggers. It's like I played it like the worst way to remote play that game, but I really enjoyed it. But I didn't get very far in it. So I just bought it on Xbox Series X for $10 for the GOTY version. The season pass.
Guys, the DLC awesome in Fallout 4.
Well, I know, but the DLC, if you don't even buy the DLC, just buy the GOTY because it gets you everything and it's less expensive.
And didn't you have something on Threads? Didn't you post something about that? Should the DLC be included in Game Pass?
Well, so that was my thing. So like,
I got to tell you right now, no. I don't think it should be on Game Pass. Okay. They got to make their money at some point. They're giving you the game. You got to pay for the DLC, Todd. Come on.
I'm gonna parse that discussion. So this is what I'm saying. So Game Pass Basic, I get totally. Game Pass Ultimate, though, if you don't do cloud gaming, you don't do PC gaming, that extra $5 a month you pay to get the online service, I think that's a nice to have because you're paying an extra $60 a year. And you know what? It's better to make some money than no money because a lot of people don't get DLC. Nintendo did that with their online pass, where they got the Animal Crossing DLC.
How about this? You sell it at a steep discount, and it's always on sale for you. Like you don't have to wait for it to be on sale. It's automatically like 50% off right away. The DLCs.
Well, like a lot of Game Pass stuff, like if you want to buy it.
Well, a lot of it is, but it's not like 50%. No, 75% off, Todd. Like I'm just saying, I am one of those people who do use PC Game Pass, and I do use console Game Pass, and I don't really stream, but
I do both. I was surprised though the Play Anywhere where you buy one copy, you get
it's awesome. Elsewhere. Yeah. Oh, the best.
It doesn't work for Fallout though.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, and you're right
because before Fallout.
Exactly. And Fallout has a separate list on PC than it does, or achievements.
So weird.
So I'm like, do I go try to get it again on PC? No, I'm not going to do that. That's insane.
It's so weird. Just like, and I will say this is my last stance on this issue because I've said it for Elder Scrolls Online is not on PC Game Pass.
It makes stupid.
No freaking sense.
And you know what?
People want Warcraft to be on Game Pass Ultimate. If ESO is on, you think they're going to put the most?
Don't even get me started on the
weird.
The BattleNet situation, like it should just all be in the Xbox app, or you got.
It's so weird.
It's but here's the thing. You know what's even more frustrating about the Bethesda thing is some games are like
It's so confusing. I mean, they own everything now. They could do it. I mean, it's like, what's it going to cost to put that game for free? I'm moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Starfield unlocked everything on PC and then on Xbox. I don't have to worry about it. Whatever.
Fallout 76 is on Game Pass for PC. And I don't get it.
Okay, all right.
Same company. Oh well, moving on. So I'm doing my apology mode this episode on Stellar Blade. I played the demo. I came in with assumptions and they were wrong. And what they say about assumptions, they make an ass out of you and umption. Doesn't work. That's what I'm going to say.
No,
that's not how it works.
Nailed it.
I totally get that, Dan. I tried. I really did. But this is what I'm going to say. Mark puts up with my dumbassery, and it's okay. It makes us all smarter in the end because you can just make fun of me. And Mark looks like a handsome gentleman, and he says it's just Todd being Todd. But I came to I approached Stellar Blade, or call it Stellar Boobs, or whatever it's called, bosom blade as they call it. I thought this was going to be a Devil May Cry. It is not a Devil May Cry. I screwed up. So from that perspective, Todd was wrong. This is a Souls-like in a way, but its combat's a little bit different. So maybe, so I don't even know how to compare it to something like that because this is a sci-fi version. They've had some other games that are like that. Like Remnant is a sci-fi version of the Souls games, that I would say. So I don't know, but I mean, it doesn't change my opinion. This game wasn't for me. I thought it was funny. It's silly. It's a weird game. Doesn't really have great elevated story. I told Mark about the one woman who comes down that your main protagonist. She's going to battle and she's wearing this little skimpy outfit with a little tie. I'm like, but she's supposed to be a member of like an elite military force. I'm like, that's the outfit you give her?
That's a tactical battle tie.
I mean, did you play Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain? Do you remember Quiet?
I did. You know what? I totally get it. I'm a simple man. And I don't understand everything. You have to speak slowly to me. Mark's like, Todd, what are you doing? I'm going to be 49 tomorrow. So what can I say?
Hey, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Thank you. A friend of mine who lives in Japan already wished me birthday. I'm like, are you from the future?
Yeah. What? Yes.
Yeah. But 49. It is where I live. You guys have young children. I have an 18-year-old. You kind of have to do the math. I didn't have kids when I was, 20. That would be hard.
No, that's going to be like me. Yeah. I'm going to be like you.
I know. Imagine that. If you're still doing what I'm doing these days, you're a good man, Charlie Brown. So before I get completely off track, not for me, enjoy it if you will.
Wait. About Stellar Blade, do you think it's going to score well on Metacritic? Because we drafted that as well. You don't know. You can't tell.
Will. I think it will, because the people that are going to review this game are into this type of game.
Mm.
You don't have Todd reviewing this game, and that's important because that would be a mistake. And they'll pick the people that like this type of game, and I think they'll highly regard it. I think they'll make fun of some things of it, but I think they'll enjoy the combat and the progression and those type of things. And it's a beautiful looking game. It has really good physics and things like that. I won't mention how the physics are working in other areas, but we'll go from there. Thanks, Mark. Yeah. But with that, I was pulled in by Destiny 2 LightFall. Okay. I'm an OG Destiny fan. I was there for the alpha from the beginning. Destiny 1 is my most played game of all time. Destiny 2 is not. Okay. It is not. It has never been. I fell out because I'm like, I understand this game, this grind. They won't get me again, and they haven't. But I always come back to the campaigns because I like the gameplay. But I don't like the nonsense.
It is.
You tell me what's happened in the story. I couldn't tell you, but I've got a cool
Neither
gun.
can I.
I'm having a good time.
Todd, I don't understand how there are these people out there be like, oh, there's such a great story and lore in Destiny. I'm like, what are you? What?
No. My son is that person. My son plays that game.
I have no idea what's going on in that game.
Destiny 2.
I've played every DLC except for Lightfall. I have no idea what's going in that. Whatever.
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm glad me and you are on the same page.
And Destiny 2 is so screwed up. I try to just get into the game. And I'm like, oh, I'm Lightfall. I'm going to start playing it. It doesn't even take you into the story or doing anything. It takes you to the history line. I'm I'm like, what is it? So I'm playing something else, and then when it game boots up again, it starts up a cutscene from something else. I'm like, what is even going on here? So I'm finally playing, and I'm like, why am I doing this? But I'm like, I want to play the final. I want to wrap up this game in the final shape.
Oh my god!
Like you said, this is my guilty pleasure game because
yes,
I accept it for what it is.
Todd, I am right there with you. There are times where I'm playing Destiny. I've come back to it. And I'm like, why am I playing this? Bacon, remember when you were on the show? I was like, are we going back to Destiny 2?
Yep.
He's like, he can see through this, the deception of Destiny.
He knows where
but
this
for
is
some
going.
reason, I'm gonna have to be there too. I'm gonna have to finish this stupid game that I have no idea what's going on. I'm gonna get LightFall when it's on sale, and then I'll get this.
Well, that's when I got it. I got LightFall on sale. I got it for like $10 or something. Why not? I will get the final shape when it's on sale.
Everything's on sale now, not to be.
And Mark, that's right. And Mark, the sickness goes there. Mark had the Destiny PlayStation 4.
Yeah.
So Mark was there
Destiny
with us.
1. I was hardcore into Destiny 1. Never got super into Destiny 2. I bounced out after maybe one thing of DLC. I think I got the first DLC back and then kind of bounced. Queen? No.
By the way, I've played this. I've never understood why everyone's like, "Oh, this is so great." I don't. Why do I play this game, you guys? I don't
you know what?
The combat is so satisfying.
Like, it's the best thing. It's
Halo's better.
Yeah.
Halo's Infinite's gameplay is better. It's more. What I appreciate about Halo Infinite is that it's balanced. But I guess that's why you play Destiny, is because you do have these different characters, these different classes.
Yeah.
I love it.
Ruins the multiplayer.
I went with the wizard this time. I went back
is
to my old
terrible.
school wizard. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
I love it. It's fun.
It is. I don't know. I know. It's so weird.
And I like so Halo, weird. But I don't do the multiplayer. Hey, Destiny 2, Destiny is the only game I've gotten into PvP. That's the only.
It's the worst. It's terrible.
I enjoyed it so much. I played Call of Duty. I've played Halo, and I'm like, I don't understand why people like this game. It's horrible. I'm getting killed constantly. I'm not having any fun. It's like, I don't see myself getting killed. I'm not enjoying myself.
Destiny 2's PvP is terrible. It's so unbalanced. That's probably the way you like it. I
don't care. I don't care.
And you do your super, and then you get wrecked.
Yes. It's fun. It's not a guy killing me with an M16. I want explosions and big things, and I want my super and kill him, and it's like, I almost got it.
Todd, we need to get you on Halo and Modern Warfare.
I am a good target.
Hey, as long as you play the objective, you're a winner in my books.
No, I'll be the guy that's over there. Why are you over there? Why is he going in circles? That's what my son says about me. When I played Helldivers 2 with my son, my son is a Sherpa. He is all in on Helldivers 2. When I'm playing it, he's like, Dad, just do what I say. Just do what I say. So that's where I'm at. Destiny 2 Lightfall. I am going to get into. I've got Rise of Ronin coming. I'm so excited about the games that are coming up. And Mark, but we did agree we would play Hellblade before Hellblade 2 came.
You guys haven't played the first Hellblade?
I have not finished it.
Same.
Mark has not finished it.
I got into Hellblade at
easy
a very
1,000 8-hour game. Come on, guys.
I couldn't handle it emotionally because some shit was going on. And,
okay.
And I just had to put it down. But what I played, I loved, but it was hard to play. I'll put it that way.
I hear you.
At that moment.
So, Mark, are we in agreement? We will play it before Hellblade 2 comes out, or no?
When does that one drop?
May 22nd.
Fudge. I'm gonna try my best. I got to build Mandalorian armor before the 26th. So, balance. But I will give it my absolute best shot.
Mark,
yes.
I promise you can't play 2 until you beat 1. Okay.
Deal. 100% deal.
I don't think that's a problem.
Yeah, no. That is not the problem. The problem is sanding this son of a gun.
In 3 years, yes, I will still not play Hellblade 2.
Okay, no spoil. Don't spoil it for yourself.
Yeah. We will. I will very much put in. Is it 8 hours? You said it's only 8 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, so I probably only have.
You're probably close.
Maybe 3 to 4 hours left. So I can knock that out. Yeah, I'm knocking that out.
Let's do that. So maybe not completing it by the next episode, but finishing it in 2 episodes.
You guys can do that.
Yeah, we can do that. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, there we go. Keep us to our words. At least we'll have impressions and getting you ready for Hellblade 2, which comes out May 22nd. So that is it for what we've been gaming. But before we go on to the bonus round, here's an ad from our sponsor. Hey, Secret Friends Unite, let me tell you about Zencastr. We use them for our show, and now they're supporting us. Zencastr is now the all-in-one solution making podcasting easy. It's the ultimate web-based podcasting solution. Provides high-quality audio and video podcast production and hosting. With a full suite of professional tools, podcasters can seamlessly record, produce, and publish studio-quality content, all from one dashboard. Being a creator has never been easier. And we chose Zencastr because of the ease of use, high quality output, and it makes it super easy for our guests to come on. We had multiple solutions we tried before, and Zencastr has just been the best fit for us. Why Zencastr? It's now super easy to record a podcast with Zencastr. Log in using your browser and start recording a high-quality podcast right away. Record studio-quality sounds and up to 4K video with your guests. Feel a sense of zen knowing Zencastr's multi-layered backups ensure you always have your recordings in the highest quality, even if the connection is unstable. Have you ever worried what you sound like? Zencastr's post-production process makes you sound buttery smooth. It automatically removes those ums and ahs in your recording. It removes those awkward pauses in conversation too. Set the right podcast loudness and levels while reducing background noise with the click of a button. So if you're interested in making an easy, high-quality podcast just with the click of a browser button, go to Zencastr.com/pricing and use my code SFU1. You'll get 30% off your first month of any Zencastr paid plan. I want you to have the same easy experiences I do for all my podcasting and content needs. It's time to share your story. Now back to the show. We're in the bonus round. And because we talked about remakes in Violent Return, I thought I would ask these kind gentlemen to talk about the remakes they want. What would they change, and what would they keep for their remake? So who wants to go first?
Oh, let's let our guest go first.
Hey, Dan.
All right, guys. Got it here up on my Google Doc I did for the show. Number 1, I want a new remake of the Mass Effect trilogy. Of course, I'm going to say that. It's the greatest trilogy of games ever made. Here's what we're changing. Here's what we're keeping. We're keeping all the dialogue and all the choices. It's perfect. The writing doesn't get any better than this, okay? But we need to update the combat. And I don't know if any of you have played Mass Effect Andromeda, the worst Mass Effect game. It did have the best combat, hands down, modern, fluid, excellent powers. You can pick whatever. You could do whatever you want. You want to be a Vanguard and Cloak at the same time, guess what? You can do that in Andromeda. So we're adding that kind of combat and leveling into Mass Effect, the new remake trilogy. General movement when you're not in combat. Shepard looks so weird running around. Can we have him look a little bit more like a normal human being and sprint around the Citadel a little bit more easily? Maybe upgrade some of those, some of the planets and places that you stop at. Update that as well. And maybe do something with enemy variety. I felt like you kind of face the same things over and over again. Add something to the combat. Second game, Super Metroid. We're talking full remake.
Yes.
And it's all in third-person Tomb Raider style. But similar themes, all the same enemies from Super Metroid, but in a 3D world, 3D space, third person. They've never done I don't know if they've technically done a third person Metroid game.
Other M was kind of in.
See, I never played that.
Yeah, I don't count it.
You don't.
But I'm thinking, you know what I'm thinking? It was close to this. Did you guys ever play another Xbox One exclusive Recore back in the day?
Yes.
No.
Great combat. Reminded me of a Metroid game. And that, I mean, it was kind of like Metroidvania. There was parts where you could get power.
Yeah.
Great game. If you haven't played Recore, and you're a fan of Metroidvania games, shout out to Recore.
And Recore was fixed too. They made their own it was
great.
Version.
Yeah, it was great. And it has been updated. I think it was like Series X optimized or whatever. Or whatever. What I don't remember what it was called. What was that? 1X optimized. Next one I've got here, guys. And we talked about this earlier, Todd. Resident Evil 0 and 1. I wanted them to start from the beginning. Why didn't they just start with 0? What is this random order that we're going in, you guys? Todd, I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Oh, wrong show. Okay, so
yes. We don't have a sound board. Sorry. Yeah.
So
I can do it for you if you point to me and say something. Yeah.
So just like what we've been getting, but I just think they should have started at 0. That's my personal opinion. Why didn't they just start with that? And not a lot of people played 0, by the way, because that was a GameCube initial release. Yeah. And then they did re-release it, but still. And then my fourth one, Metal Gear Solid. I know they remade it on, again, a GameCube, the Twin Snakes.
Yep.
Loved it. We need an updated version of that. And maybe we're going to get that with the next collection, supposedly. But I'd like a full-on... I don't even know if it has to be a remake. Maybe this could just be a remaster of the game. Where is the Twin Snakes? Silicon Knights. All right, let's go. And then my fifth one, the last one. If you guys haven't noticed, these are like my top 5 games of all time. So Resident Evil, Metal Gear.
What I want to play again.
Exactly. The last one, The Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Completely remade, updated for modern audiences, and we're talking modern Souls, like a bit of Souls-like gameplay in Hyrule, in the Dark World, Elden Ring style. Can you guys imagine A Link to the Past in a modern set? Oh my gosh, that would probably be my number 1 remake if I could get an updated version.
And Link's voice is done by
Chris Pratt,
Chris Pratt from Community.
Did you say Andy Dwyer from Parks and Rec? Yes, you were.
Sure, right. We did. Whoever, show up,
So those are the 5 that, I mean, realistically though, come on, the Link to the Past one, that would be cool, but that's just me asking for a new Zelda game that isn't a physics-based simulator
with horrific redesigned beasts that look like they're from a Cthulhu-inspired dream.
That's what I wanted to ask you, Mark. Are you a fan of the modern Zeldas?
Yes. I loved Breath of the Wild. Absolutely loved it. I have not finished Tears of the Kingdom, but I absolutely
says a lot. Says it right there.
Adored.
Says it right there.
Breath of the Wild. Yeah. My Tears of the Kingdom problem was I played it too quickly after playing Jedi Survivor, where I didn't have to restart at 0. I didn't lose any of my powers. I picked up where I was going, and so I went into Tears of the Kingdom like, I'm going to be a powered up super soldier, and then Link.
Over in it?
Yeah, you basically start as a naked goblin in a cave again. And it was just like, why am I
in one heart?
Yeah, like why I've lost my sword again, I've lost an arm, I've lost everything, I'm naked in a cave, why does this exist? And it was just,
why am I freezing again?
Is it on your top 5 of Zelda's Breath of the Wild? It's overrated, guys. I'm sorry, I have to say it. It's overrated. What does Breath of the Wild do that's so much better than Ocarina of Time or even Link to the Past?
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. Breath of the Wild would be, if it makes my top 5, it'd probably be close to the 5. Wind Waker. Oh, frig. Now I'm going to have to, I'll get back to you. But it's either going to be like just missing the top 5 or on the top 5, but in like the 5 position. Because like,
all right,
like Wind Waker. Yeah, oh man. Right.
See, damn, Zelda's number 1, Todd. They didn't play the older Zeldas.
I'm going to go,
They don't even know.
Yeah.
Well, Todd, you don't really like Zelda that much. Never mind, Mark.
I do like Zelda. I Wind Waker's my favorite. I loved Zelda 2 was my favorite on the NES. I loved Zelda.
That's whack.
I know. It's weird, but I loved it. It was just like that weird, like inside of me, I'm like, I want to play that game. It's so damn hard. Yeah, it brought out the best of me and the worst. Okay, Mark. Mark's got this.
Actually, trying to go through. Okay, so my remakes. You know what? I'm going through with... I'm sticking on theme. I'm saying Ocarina of Time. I want a remake. The 3DS version was great at the time. Made it a little bit prettier.
It just doesn't look very good.
Pretty it up. Just straight up make Hyrule a bit bigger. Make it a little bit more to traverse. Only a little bit. Not a whole lot. Just a little bit, enough that you can enjoy riding Epona a little bit more across the landscape, but don't change it that it just feels like a bigger empty space. I want a good balance. Like, I'll give you that critique of Breath of the Wild. A lot of it was a empty space.
Thank you.
but so I want that just everything just kind of prettier, more modernized, ramped up. But like that game is just so good and so timeless that I think a bare bones remake, honestly, at this point would be just fantastic. I don't even care what kind of art style it is. Stick to the realistic-ish art style of like Ocarina, completely change it up and go cel shade it like Wind Waker, go even more gritty and realistic, like Twilight Princess, whatever they want to do. I don't care. Even do the Breath of the Wild engine, whatever. Let's just get more Ocarina of Time. Let's go. I also would love to see a Pokemon Gold and Silver generation remake, because we keep getting weird Pokemon remakes and like Pokemon Let's Go versions and shit like that and whatever. And like Gold and Silver, when it was released, was a freaking masterpiece, because not only did you go through an all new region, but then you got to play the original game in a kind of pared down thing. But like that shouldn't have existed on a Game Boy cart. So it's one of those games. It's just like, holy crap, how did they pull this off? And they did, because of Iwata, basically. And yeah, I think that generation deserves a really, really good remake. Again, I have a feeling if they remake this, it's going to be like a Let's Go style game, which would be fine. Especially since, I have a kid who's like, yeah, Pikachu and Eevee and whatever. So like, I guess like I would accept a Let's Go remake of that game. But I'd like a more faithful, like traditional Pokemon style remake of like, looking like, like, what was the Zelda remake that we talked about earlier?
Link's Awakening.
The Link's Awakening. Yeah, something like that, where they like fully overhaul the art style and go that way. Or even one of those like 2D, 3D, like 3D, like 2D sprites in a 3D world, like a lot of the RPGs. Shoot, what are they called? Todd, help me out here. What's one of those like there's a couple of them now that like
Ayuden Chronicles.
Sure. I'm going to say yes. I can't remember the name of the damn games. Anyway, I want a Pokemon Silver, Gold, something remake. My last one, I'm only going to name 3. This one's going to be a bit ridiculous because I think the game is timeless, but we had so much fun with Super Mario Wonder. And the art style and personality of that game were so fun to watch. I'm going to say the original Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario World would be fun as well. Super Mario World is
Super Mario 3
or 3. Honestly, give me like a Super Mario All-Stars.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Super Mario All-Stars that all look like Super Mario Wonder. Sure.
I still need to get to Super Mario Wonder.
Choice because it's so different from the others. It's so
I like to. I
love to.
It is.
Who's the?
Yeah.
Doesn't Peach have like that infinite jump?
A float jump, yeah.
Yeah, she
floats.
Float
yeah. Picking up things, the weird potions you throw on to make like reverse worlds.
Oh yeah, no, I beat them all. I had Super Mario All Stars on my SNES. Don't you worry about that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So my original thought was just go straight back Super Mario Brothers 1 remake in the Wonder style. If they want to keep going after that, cool. If they would rather do an All Stars, great. But I think just that first game, again, it's timeless. It's one of my favorite games of all time. But I'd love to see it just kind of, modernized a little bit. Mm-hmm. Again, don't change too much. Don't change the level layouts and that kind of thing. I still want to be able to play it based off of muscle memory and beat the whole thing in 15 minutes. But I also want it to like look really cool and explore every single crease and crevice of every single one of those stages and just see it in that new art style. And I think where they do like dark worlds in the original one, where like they just kind of flip the color palette or something like that, I think that's where you could really have some fun the same way they did Super Mario Wonder, where sometimes your character's a shadow and the back is like lit differently or whatever. I think you could pretty up some of the stages and make it prettier than they could have back then. So I think that'd be a really interesting remake. So
Very good. Well, I'll wrap this up and hopefully won't.
I just realized I'm wearing an appropriate shirt for that. Holy crap. I straight up did not even.
You are.
I just I caught myself in my camera. I was like, wait a second, I'm wearing a Super Mario 1 shirt right now.
Even though that's the level that's made the most in every other game is World 1-1.
World 1,
right? Yeah. So I'm starting off with a PS1 game that started a franchise that's essentially dead now, and that's Legacy of Kain. I'm not going to Soul Reaver, though. I'm doing the old school Legacy of Kain. It was kind of like that top-down 2D type of game, kind of like almost a Link to the Past. It had a cool CD soundtrack, but just wasn't given the love it needed to be amazing. So I want to see that brought to a modern lens and a cool combat system, totally re-envision and just basically reboot that whole franchise and start from the beginning with Kain. So I would probably go with a developer like a Sucker Punch because they made Infamous and what they did with some of their that one expansion they did on Infamous where it was with vampires. Love that. So I think that could be amazing. Building a mythos. And it could be really fun. Unfortunately, the whole Silicon Knights Dennis Dyack thing is hot and a mess. And you'll see that my next pick, which is Eternal Darkness. It's a Nintendo IP where they went all in on like the weirdness, like a Resident Evil style game. Played with things like Metal Gear Solid did with insanity effects and things like that. And it's like they deny this game even exists.
Yeah, it's so weird. So weird. Why haven't they done anything with this game? My brother he streamed watching somebody play it because he can't play it because he's terrified. Like that game was scary. Man.
It was.
It was messed up.
Super weird.
Just give the IP to somebody else then. If you don't care about it, let Dennis Dyack go crazy with it and do something neat, or hire a developer just to play around with it. I would love that. But it just feels like in this area where we've got Resident Evil on fire, this is a series that should get some love and care. Or you can get the Capcom and have them co-develop it and just put it on everywhere. Yeah. So that's where I'm going with that. Yeah. Next, because of the world of Activision and IP, X-Men Legends. We need an X-Men game. This is a series.
Apocalypse, I think is what you meant there.
Well, there was two, right? There was the X-Men Legends, and then X-Men, the sequel that then led us to Ultimate Avenger or Ultimate Alliance. I would love to see a cool, like brawler style team up cooperative game with X-Men, and Legends I think is a good way to start with it and build upon that. So I think you could really go with like a Diablo like with the X-Men. I think that'd be a hell of a fun time. Find a developer,
or even what was the one on a 360, and then the random sequel that came out on the Switch that didn't come to.
Yes, the Origins game.
Ultimate Alliance.
Yeah.
Oh, Ultimate Alliance, yeah.
Marvel
the Switch got the third one, which was...
Why can't we get there's another one I would add. Something like those were great.
Talked about that the last episode.
Gosh, just...
Yeah.
Sorry,
except
Ultimate Alliance.
The Switch got it, and that game is not... The Switch is not the right home for that franchise when you want
What is going on?
So, which is weird. But I'll take X-Men Legends. Xbox owns, I think, with Activision. Maybe they own the actual game, but they need to get the rights from Disney. But just bring that back. Easy. Hire a new studio to do all your remakes and reboots. Do it. Which then leads into my next game, which is because we're not getting a Skyrim game, probably, or an Elder Scrolls game until like 2029, because they're going to still support Starfield. Remake or remaster Oblivion. Just make it happen. Put a fresh coat of paint on it.
Todd, you don't think that's coming at the Xbox showcase?
I don't know. Do they have a studio that can do that?
How hard can that be?
Are they going to hire somebody else? I hope they do. I want them to get a Blue Point to do their games and bring them back.
I think out of everything we've said, that's definitely the most realistic.
I hope so. Because I tried playing Morrowind. It's a tough mess.
I couldn't do it. My brother swears by that game.
Was not that great. Yeah.
Have you played it on 4K 60? It's pretty good on Xbox.
Well, visuals and speed are one thing. It's the quality of life. After playing Skyrim, like, this doesn't feel like Skyrim. Yeah.
My brother still plays it, Todd, and he does it to where he just keeps leveling, but he never actually levels up, So he's just banking on. And he's just like jumping. You know how you remember your agility? You can just jump super high. Oh man, great game. So yeah,
weird. There's so many mods in that game. Yeah, so and I've got one more, and this is really this game needs some love. It was done wrong. The Order 1886 on PlayStation 4, a launch title. It looked
a remake.
Good. I want
what are you
to get some love.
Todd? You just want this to
game. Like that game. Don't shame me.
I think
I have the platinum trophy for it. It's perfectly fine. He wants a sequel. This is what he wants.
I want a redemption, not a reboot, not a remaster. I want a redemption.
All right.
Are you guys going to be standing behind me going, shame?
Yes. Here's the thing. I think the Order has a very cool setting, and I don't think it was as bad as everyone says it was, but it wasn't great either. I think it did deserve a sequel. Yeah. I will say that. Absolutely. There was a lot of potential there. I mean, I thought I saw a video just recently on Digital Foundry. Weren't they doing something about the graphics and how, just recently they were saying, like, to this day, we haven't seen what they were able to achieve on that was PS4, right?
Yeah. Early PS4.
Back when
literally
early PS4, and they were talking about how it's still incredible that game was. So I respect the Order, but like I'll give you this. It deserves a sequel, Todd. I'm right there with you. A remake or remaster? Just boot it up to 60 FPS or something.
The Redemption. 1886, The Order, The Redemption.
I'm going to toss out Wave Race because you guys all went way, I got a Wave Race. I got to throw
Wave Race.
One more. That's it. I don't know. The you're throwing out The Order, Wave Race is getting a remake first.
Mark, you're getting Wave Race Arms, the sequel. They're just going to be racing Wave Race with Arms, the sequel.
Whatever gives me more Wave Race, I will take it.
Oh boy. Well,
Siphon Filter just needs one.
That needs a overhaul.
A remake, yeah.
Yeah. Those games are so bad to play right now. Where am I?
Do you remember the taser where you would just burn people to death?
Oh yeah. What is even going on?
I love Siphon Filter.
Oh yeah, I never got past that first level, but I played it a couple times. No, I was bad at it, but I was having a good time. They'd start smoldering. Burning.
It was rough, but once you got it, I'm sorry.
It acquired taste. Oh wow, we could go on all day.
Yes.
And you know what? That tells us we had a good time. So I appreciate our guests. Dan, tell people where they can find you, because they should.
Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast. Todd, thank you for coming on the show this week. Mark, you are more than welcome to join us at any time. You let us know. We want both of you guys on the show. You are more than welcome. Fun. You can find me at Daddy Diwali across all social media. You can follow our show, The Nerd Chat, on all social media at that handle as well. We're just a small podcast celebrating all things gaming, food, and the good old days. We're mostly focused on Xbox, but I'm not going to lie, most of us are PC nerds now. And so we're playing everything. And we all have PlayStation 5s, and I've got my Switch somewhere. I don't know. It's collecting dust somewhere. But we just love video games. We love food, and we love nostalgia. So that's kind of like the basis for our show. And again, guys, thank you so much for having me. I had a blast. Todd, quick question though. I've been staring at your background this entire time, and it's been driving me insane. Why is there only Leonardo visible on your, unless the other turtles are hidden behind you somehow? And I don't think that they are. Very concerning. I only see one Ninja Turtle. I don't see the rest of them. That's concerning. I'm seeing multiple versions of Spider-Man. I'm seeing multiple versions of Wolverine.
There's a green X-Men. Batman. I've been so perplexed by this.
Batman. We got to figure this out, Todd. One Ghostbuster. I'm guessing that's Venkman. What is going on? What is going on with this? We got to get more turtles.
I did not design it.
More turtles and more Ghostbusters. less Wolverines. I do see Gambit. Thankfully, he's right behind you. I'm pretty sure.
Link looks like he's seen some shit.
I've never noticed that. Is that?
Yeah, I mean, I like the link.
Man?
I'm seeing like I'm pretty sure I'm seeing random cables or something. I don't know what's going on, but I've been staring at that one Leonardo this whole time, Todd. It's pissing me off that we're not seeing Raphael, aka the best turtle up there. So, guys,
of course, I agree with you, Raphael.
Thank you for having me. And you guys are more than welcome to come on our show anytime. This was a blast.
Awesome.
Excellent. Check them out. They are amazing. They talk and they stream online. So if you're looking for just a good conversation, they will definitely read your comments.
And Todd's favorite part, giving us crap about our bad food habits and the best food we had this week and my cholesterol numbers. I'm concerned now. Thanks. I'm going to get tested this year on my 40th. So thank you, Todd. I'm going to get the blood.
Like I said, it all goes downhill once you have to hit 4-0, Dan. So take care of yourself, man. One double cheeseburger a week.
Well, one quarter pounder and one Big Mac. Different burgers.
Okay. But Dan is a handsome man. He looks like
Big Mac has lettuce on it. That means it's health food.
Yes,
that's
and
true.
A special sauce that's got nutrients.
Yeah.
There's probably kale in there. It's baked in. Oh, yeah. Well, very, very good. Thank you, Dan. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Mark, where can people reach out to you?
Mostly on Instagram or TikTok every once in a while, but mostly Instagram. Let's go Canardian_gamer on that one. And of course, hanging out in our Discord channel.
Excellent. You can check out all our stuff on our link tree on Secret Friends Unite. If you go to our socials, it's all there.
Shout out to your webpage. Very impressive, you guys. Checked it out.
That's
Very
Mark.
impressed.
Mark's doing
Thanks.
it. I add things to it, but he was the one that got it all started. So thank you so much. We need to do a little bit more with it. I think we can probably spruce it up. So I'll look to see if Mark and I can put our heads together because it's been up there for about 2 years now. So, but thank you for that. But myself at Toxtra, I'm on Twitter, Threads, at Secret Friends Unite on Twitter and Threads. Join our Discord and, check out our YouTube page. We're doing some fun things over there. And our YouTube podcasts is there now too. So enjoy that. So folks, thank you for this ride down the world of video games. We had a great time. Hopefully you did too. If you enjoy it, subscribe, give us a comment. And thank you, gentlemen. And as always, it's always better to game together.
This podcast is part of the Secret Friends Unite podcasting network. Visit secretfriendsunite.com for more great shows, articles, news, reviews, and more. Secret Friends Unite podcasts are available on Apple, Google, Spotify, and other podcast services around the world. If you'd like to be part of the conversation, you can join us on Facebook or our new Discord server, or follow at Secret Friends U on Twitter. Please subscribe to Secret Friends Unite on YouTube and visit our merch store at tpublic.com. Just search Secret Friends Unite. Thanks for listening.